Oh, good to see you. Good to have everybody here. Appreciate everybody coming today. It's just an annual event that all of us look forward to visiting with you and see people we don't ordinarily see in Mississippi, and so it's good to have all of y'all here together. So business leaders, economic leaders of the state of Mississippi are sitting in here, so we're really excited about that, and it's good to be with you. It's your 75th anniversary, 50th anniversary of Leadership Mississippi, and I want to share a little bit about what we did last year and a little bit about where we're going the next year. So we'll first start with last year. Our budget last year was $7 billion. $7 billion, and included a number of different things I'm going to speak to you about this year. It allowed us, though, to invest in infrastructure and education and some things I'm going to talk about here in a second that y'all need to be aware of that sometimes are not covered by the general conversation. We prioritize spending on the things you elected us to do. Infrastructure, healthcare, taxes, the things that you elected us to do is what we've been doing. On infrastructure, I've heard a lot about that from Brad here a few minutes ago, and I want to tell you a couple of things we did. We put $1.3 billion in critical projects in Mississippi. This past year is $380 million. Anybody from North Mississippi, from South Mississippi, you can look around at what's been done. Highway 7 in Oxford, Highway 15, Tippah County, Interstate 55, North Mississippi, DeSoto County, down at Diamond Head, Interstate 10. Look around the state at the capacity, that's kind of MDOT speak, for new highways that are being built for the very first time in years. We're devoting money to infrastructure, and let me go through with you exactly how much that is. When you hired me in 2020, we were spending $1.1 billion on roads and bridges in Mississippi. This past year, $2.2 billion on roads and bridges in Mississippi, a phenomenal growth of 100% more than what you did when you first hired me this last time. And you're seeing those yellow barrels that make a difference in transferring our goods and services and our kids to school are being done all over the state of Mississippi, funded by you and the legislature this past year. I want to talk to you a little bit about businesses that we came this year. And you know, these kind of pile on to each other. When you have a week or 2 weeks, you know, you get another one, you don't get another one, and all of a sudden you start to think, and here's what happened. And Governor Reese, by the way, and the legislature, Speaker White and the members of the Senate all had something to do with this. But just listen to what's happened to us. AI, Amazon, AWI, building a $20 billion investment in Madison County, Mississippi. The biggest one we have in the country is right up the road here. And do you know what else was interesting? Dwayne Walker and I visited a little bit ago. They're hiring 1,000 new employees in Madison County. 1,000 people will be working at that capacity. 14 of these giant buildings are going up full of computers, and it's the future. And we're looking at energy, building 2 new transmission creations to provide the electricity for that. And do you know what else that Dwayne told me the other day? It's fully leased. It's 100% occupied. What we started with, not even finished construction, is already occupied. Think about what the future of that. You businessmen, when you've got something 100% sold, what do you do after that? You build another one. You start to increase. That will spawn industries in Mississippi we don't even know exist yet. And that one that's not even finished yet. When in aluminum dynamics in Columbus, $2.5 billion for the aluminum mill. It's the biggest thing. If you look, there's acres and acres under construction up there. They're furnishing aluminum. They hired 7 more sites. 7 more sites that are going to build other companies at. They'll spawn more businesses around in the Golden Triangle. Marshall County, $1.9 billion. We're in the energy business. We're going to build the electricity for the future. Batesville, in their lock plant, in the Batesville Locks Manufacturing. Columbus, Aurora Flight, if anybody's ever been there, one of the aerospace's largest manufacturers, and I've been in their plant, $43 million investment. Keep looking at what's going on in Mississippi. Ashley Furniture, basic furniture. Highway 15 is going to allow Ashley Furniture to get their products to market. Ashley Furniture, $80 million. They're hiring more people to produce there. This past month, I was in the coast, and I went to a place called Superior Optical. You may not know that name. Most people don't know that name. When I went there, these are guys from Colorado and Florida and veterans. And you know what they did? They said, you know, our veterans deserve better glasses. We need to make better glasses for veterans, so we're going to start this. Where are we going to start this new factory? Where are we going to put that place? Let's go to Ocean Springs, Mississippi. And if you go in their plant, they have the world's leading manufacturer of glasses. The most precise ones are in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. They started by building 500 pairs of glasses, now 1,500 pairs of glasses a day for veterans, going to 5,000 pairs of veterans glasses every day for our veterans. Things you don't see in Mississippi. If you go to the other end of the coast, there's a factory there that we are building, and the name is Sky Dweller, and that's very appropriate. Sky Dweller has a 263-foot, as wide as this right in here, airplane that is solar powered. So we can go and circle the battlefield and circle all the places in the Middle East that we're currently in harm's way, where our kids and our military is in harm's way. It can go and stay out for days, watching without anyone in it, and providing information and intel to the community, to our military community. That's being built in Mississippi, on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And the other ones that are here, your Sanderson Farms, your PV, your Nissan, Toyota. I was in Toyota the other day. Toyota is giving out grants to schools around Pontotoc and others that are teaching them STEM. High school kids. They're furnishing those kids with an opportunity to have an education, work for Toyota, not just Toyota when we talk to them, but for any of the manufacturing plants in Northeast Mississippi. Toyota is a good member of our family. We're just a big neighborhood, and people are coming to our neighborhood. Yesterday, I met with another group that's coming that's a national name that you would know, and they've come around and they were looking and they wanted to talk to me about the economic benefits. We did Inflex. Many of you use Inflex. It's what got Amazon here and some other things, the way we structured our tax policy. But you know what else he said? Everywhere I go, people are nice to me. They speak to me. I can't believe this. Where I'm from, which is California, he said, when I'm in California, I've never sat down with the lieutenant governor. I said, well, you're welcome to come in here anytime. We want you to be part of our neighborhood. Come to Mississippi. It'll be part of our neighborhood. And he said, it's like a big neighborhood here, and we want to continue to have that. We are expanding everywhere. From Marshall County to Ocean Springs, you pick it, we're growing, because people want to come where they can have people work, an education, infrastructure, and a low tax structure. And let's talk about tax cuts for a second. Right, we cut taxes $524 million. $500 million tax cuts, gradually, one step at a time. 5% did away with the rate. 5%, 4.7, 4. Next year and a half, we'll be at 4% flat income tax rate. We do need to cut the grocery tax. This next year in the Senate, we'll have proposals to cut the grocery tax. It's too high in Mississippi. We're cutting business taxes, $42 million. Remember how you used to pay franchise taxes? Next year in 2028, we'll be out of the franchise tax business. When we get through doing this, in the 7-8 years that you will have hired me to work, we will have decreased taxes in Mississippi by over $1 billion a year. $1 billion a year while we funded education, built infrastructure, and you know what else we did? We paid off $1.2 billion in debt. Every one of you business people that are out there know what you can do when you have less debt as your overhead. Every one of you has a credit card, knows what the difference means. It's so important to us to reduce taxes, reduce debt in an organized, structured manner, which we can all look at ourselves in the morning and say, we did not mortgage the future of our children. We decreased their debt, and we gave you more spendable income to keep in your pocket while you were there. And let's talk about health care, because it just came up. Yeah, this last year we passed health care reform in the Senate, and it was difficult. As you know, there's a governor that doesn't necessarily agree with some of our proposals. We passed it so that working people that work for you that don't have insurance can have insurance. There's 75,000 of them in Mississippi. When I was in Tupelo just yesterday, talking to small businesses, where are you? What's going on? Our people are making $16 and $18 an hour. They can't afford health care. Working people can't afford health care. When President Trump was president, he approved 14 states that wanted to have a work requirement. Louisiana wants a work requirement. They applied for it. Arkansas wants a work requirement. They applied for it. So many other states recognize that we need to support working people. Give those working people so they stay healthy and they show up for your job every day. So health care will be again this year. We did where you have presumptive Medicaid eligibility for women and a number of other things that went on last year on the health care, and this 340B that's a tremendous burden on us for our drug policies, that's also in. We really have a brighter future, y'all. We did increase teacher salaries by over $300 million. We did change the formula this past year. That was difficult. It took us a lot of time, but the legislature, the Senate, and the House worked out a plan in which we provide more than $200 million. Our test scores are up. We're now 30th in the state. Things are going good. But I will tell you, they're not going good if half our kids don't read. They're not going good if a quarter of them aren't in school. If their seat's not in that seat, they're not learning. Or what they may be learning is something that's not going to be beneficial to you. We need to keep our kids in school. This year you'll see the Senate make proposals to keep our kids in school and make sure they're sitting in that seat. And we want to make sure, that they're not on the cell phone when they're supposed to be in class. They need to be learning, not texting. And texting is not learning when you're trying to learn STEM and everything else that Mississippi students want to learn. This next year, this is so important for you businesses. We want to do last dollar tuition-free community college. We want to be able to have every child in this state start with K, go all the way through community college where they're not having to pay tuition. Because that extra year, that certificate will mean so much to them economically, $1 million in their lifetime. We need to be able to provide to you, yes, an educated workforce. And that educated workforce now is just not limited to high school. That next year, that next 2 years, and maybe even they get a collegiate degree. But we need to remove that barrier, and part of that removal was, for the first time ever, we have now 200 of these individuals that are working as career counselors through Accelerate. Every school in Mississippi deserves to have one of their career colleges and that counselors with them. And when they meet with that child, they come to there and say, what is your economic future? Not who are you going to take to the prom, what are you going to do the rest of your life? A lot of those individuals have never had anybody sit down with them. Y'all help our career counselors. They are so important. They are changing the paradigm about what young people in Mississippi are looking forward to, and we want them to look forward to a bright economic future which allows them to buy a house, get a job, continue their life, and stay in Mississippi. I will tell y'all, our goals for Mississippi's future are the same as yours. When you look at what we're going forward in the future, our future is to have an educated workforce. Our future is for you to keep as much money as you can to reinvest in your own companies. Our future is for you to be able to drive your car, take your products to market, take your agriculture to market. Each one of those are so critical to us. We want you to have an educated workforce. We are focused on the things that you want us to be focused on. And I'm proud of the legislature. I'm proud of both the House and the Senate, and a lot of things we addressed last year, we are going to address them again this year. You'll see the give and take that goes with that. But in the end, in every one of these last 4 years, we have made significant progress towards a better Mississippi. And let me talk about that. You and your businesses are partners in what we do. You drive the dynamics, you drive the discussions. You want to help us some? Find out why that kid's not in class. You want to help us some? Give a kid a part-time job. You want to help us some? Help us raise the future of Mississippi. The best thing we have in Mississippi is a child's brain. And the fact that you help us give them the opportunity to sit in your chair one day is the most rewarding thing you'll do. Help us help ourselves to do better for Mississippi. And I will tell you, Mississippi is rich in talent. Those minds are there. They're there for us to educate. We are rich in talent. We are strong in community. We are a big neighborhood. We care about each other, political or non-political. We care about people as individuals. You see it where we are in church. You see how many people go to church every weekend. You see how our participation of our faith-based community in all aspects of everything. We are a strong community. People want to come and live next door to you because of the way you act and the way you grow. We're going to grow our state. You're helping in that growth, and I'm so honored to have part of the opportunity to work for you and help in that growth. We are rich in talent, we are a community, and we are going to grow. So hang with us as we go through what some would say the making of sausage for the next 3 months. It'll come out to be something I think that you'll be proud of, and we're all honored. Also, thank you so much for coming today. It's real important for me and Jason and all of us to have an opportunity to visit with you. I see a friend of mine over here I think we ought to thank that started this a long time ago when the government was broke. He took over. The government was broke. He made everything balanced. Then he got knocked down by a hurricane. Then he saved Mississippi and the Mississippi Gulf Coast and a lot of the rest of the state. I'd like to just pause just for a second and thank Governor Haley Barbour, who's sitting right here. He was on the radio right after me today, and he's still real good, y'all. Thank you so much for coming. Enjoy your visit here. We'll look forward to working with each and every one of you. Y'all all got my cell phone or my email. Call me. Help me make Mississippi a little better. Thank you.